Grand Rising. Good day. And good night. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to El Hanora's channel. Welcome to 144 from the stars. Tarot, let's go ahead and give Odin a treat. The name of God that we chose can be found in the book Nehemiah, chapter 9, verse 32. You could translate this to the awesome God, because God is awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and give Odin a treat. There you are, sir. Thank you so much for being here. The totem for this message is going to be a waved albatross. Yeah, wave check. That's what I heard when I heard it. So I don't know if that's like a synchronicity for someone. Maybe you got your edges done. Maybe you looking fresh. Maybe you got a clean cut. I don't know. None of my business, but hey, it's working. So let's go ahead and let's get started with some word. You heard that. We're going to be reading from Yekizekel or Ezekiel. We're going to be reading from chapter 11. Yeah, that number, 11. We're going to start at verse 16, and we're going to read till 25. We're going to finish the chapter. Therefore say, thus says Adonai Yahuwah, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. Therefore say, thus says Adonai Yahuwah, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Yisrael. And they shall come thither, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof, and all the abominations thereof from thence. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new ruach within you, and I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and I will give them a heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and guard my ordinances and do them. And they shall be my people, and I will be their Elohim. But as for them whose heart walks after the heart of their detestable things and their abominations, I will recompense their way upon their own heads, says Adonai Yahuwah. Then did the cherubim lift up their wings, and the Ophanim beside them, and the glory of the Elohim of Yisrael was over them above. And the glory of Yahuwah went up from the midst of the city, and stood upon the mountain which is on the east side of the city. Afterwards, the Ruach took me up and brought me in a vision by the Ruach Elohim into Kazdamah, to them of the captivity. So the vision that I had seen went up from me. Then I spoke to them of the captivity, all the things that Yahuwah had showed me. I think it's funny how there's an argument that says because the Old Testament says eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, that means the God of the Old Testament isn't the God of the New Testament. That's some ignorant stuff being spread around, and people believe it. And if you believe that, I'm not trying to be offensive to you. It's not your fault. There's just agendas that do a really good job at, lying, and it's just not true. If you were to read like the entirety of the Torah, which I have not read every single verse of every single scroll, so it's not like I myself have necessarily done that, but I've read a lot, and you can see that the Word of God is thorough in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Like, you have to understand the context of the historical and the covenants that were cut throughout all of this, but literally eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. That is still the word even in the New Testament. It's just the people of God have the new covenant placed with them by the blood. But it's whatever, because literally it says even in Psalms, even in other things, and then you go into the New Testament and you can see even in Revelations, like evil will have the evil that they do placed upon their own head. The pit that they dug for us, they will fall in. That sounds like eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, don't it? I don't understand why, like, there's so many arguments trying to divide things and say, well, this is the word of God and this isn't. And that's God, but that's not God. And it's like, okay, says who? What? A man? I'm confused. That don't make sense to me. But anyways, whatever. Besides that little rant, awesome God. God is awesome. Yeah. All right. Let's destroy the Babylonian Empire. Let's destroy the Roman shit. Let's just get rid of it. Okay. I'm tired of it. We all have one heart and spirit. We should all speak the same tongue, the language of God and the Holy Spirit. And we should be united, not divided. Okay. All right. Cool. That's the main point here. Let's be united, not divided. I do feel like you have came very far. We've got the strength card over top of the Ten of Swords with the Justice and the Ace of Wands. Good for you, collective. I see that you have had to push through this long journey. It was arduous. It was tumultuous. There were lots of tribulations. You've had to pass through many trials and initiations, and you have made it through on the other side. Now, this journey has taught you a lot. Pain is an excellent teacher. It sucks. It's painful, but it does teach us a lot of things. And with this strength on top of this Ten of Swords, I see that you have made it this far and you've made it through, but you've got some stories to tell. And I feel that. I feel the wisdom in your scars. I also feel the healing that has taken place over those wounds. They've closed up and the light just shines through. And that's beautiful. Coming off of you, I do feel your radiance. I do feel the glory of God off of you. I feel that you are someone that I would love to just sit down and have a chat with. Like, if we were sitting down around a fire and we were just, I don't know, eating like a good stew or something, like, time would be, irrelevant. And that's cool. That's cool that you are a deep, soulful person. And I see that you live this intentional purpose and you have persevered to achieve your purpose and your goal. You had some kind of vision and you set your mind to something and you experienced betrayals and heartaches and heartbreaks and all of this, like, just ouch, that fucking hurts. But you didn't let that stop you. You kept going. And I really feel like you're closing out some kind of cycle where you're standing on top of a mountain and there's this moment of stillness. And I don't know if you've ever experienced the difference between altitudes. Like if you've ever been in the mountains or you've been in like really close to sea level, especially if you're like near cities, then you can like really tell the difference of the quality of the air. There's something about it. I like being in the mountains. Even though my childhood was around port cities, I like being in the mountains. And, there's even some lore about how like it's where the heavens meet the earth. But, regardless of this, I see that you've completed some kind of journey in the sense that you've made it to a checkpoint and you've crossed a major finish line. And you've got a lot of wisdom. You have a lot of truth within you and you have a great strength, and your stripes prove that. You don't have to tell anyone how strong you are. You don't have to tell anyone how wise you are. It's obvious. And those that are denying it are in denial because they don't want to admit what they clearly can see because it triggers them and they feel inferior to you, which is crazy. And that's their own fucking path and wound to figure out because God didn't create any of us inferior to one another. But yet, here you are and you're this shining example of what they could be and chose not to be. So then they want to attack you and tear you down. And these are things like that's just a small little flavor of this fucking infinite ice cream bar of cold truths that you've had to learn throughout this journey. You've had to try some Rocky Road. You've had to try some of this. It's just like, all right, but you made it. You tried all these little samples of flavors. Some of them you liked, some of them you really didn't care for, okay? Some of them you might have even been allergic to, and it caused a health crisis, but you still made it through the other side of this, I don't know, like ice cream bar of experiences with all these little flavors, all these different tests and trials and memories and experiences. And, some people really suck, some people are really great. And you've got so much within you and you have a lot to show. And I do feel like, you're stepping into a moment where it's all about the payoff. All of this is about the payoff. And that's what I feel from this. And that's why we got the strength on top of the Ten of Swords. That's why you're standing in front of this justice. In this justice card, you're standing in front of, and this, it's like depicted as a higher power in this seat of like judgment. And you are being judged. They're seeing I'm getting reminded of Three Rivers Crossing again. Oh my goodness. All right, we're not getting into that because that's like prophetic. Anyways, they're seeing the timelines, your past, your present, your future, your other incarnations, and how far you've came and developed as a soul. And you've integrated with your soul. And we've got this Ace of Wands, and there is like a new beginning. And it's something that is inspiring to others, and it's fulfilling to you. And it's something you're going to feel good about. You're going to feel motivated about this new beginning. And I really enjoy the passions in life that are fulfilling. And this new beginning is filled with lots of them. And it kind of makes all of these things that you have overcame, like, I'm so glad I made it through. I'm so glad I made it through. Like, whatever you've been through, I'm not saying you're glad for all the shit that's been done to you, but you will kind of have this sense of like accomplishment where you're glad that you didn't let that be the end of you. You didn't let that break you. You didn't let that stop you. You still kept going. And there's something real sweet about this, okay? You can take rock salt and you can make it into ice cream. So like there's something savory about this moment. Like there's a turning point in your life. And I feel that. I feel this like major checkpoint, finish lines. You're stepping into a new scene, a new chapter. And that could be a lot about what this, we're leading up. I'm reading this like right before this new moon in Scorpio. And this is really talking about like death and new beginnings, cyclical nature of our life and our existence in this rebirth. So the Ascension's probably been crazy. And you probably had to face some wounds about yourself and kind of like a crash course of, all right, let's face everything you've came through up till now, because there's even like a retrograde going on. Like there's a few different things going on, not to mention all the like stuff in the solar system. We're not going to get into all that, but a lot is going on leading up to this moment. And we're in the 11th month. 11. Huh? 11? The number 11. Ascended. Master. You have mastered some kind of process of ascension within yourself, and you've integrated a higher version of you. And now you're stepping into this new path, this new placement for you, and you're on a higher place. You're on a higher plane. And congratulations, collective, you've made it. You've made it. I don't know if you have ever been on like a long hike or like a physical journey that is it's long. You have no idea how long it's going to take. You didn't even bring enough supplies. You didn't bring enough. You hungry. You ain't got enough water. Like it's about to get dark, or it already is dark. You ain't got flashlights, or like but like when you make it to the end and you're okay, there's like this sense of like relief and almost like accomplishment too, because it's like you showed something to yourself. You face the elements, you face the extremes, you face life and death, and you're like victorious. There's this sense of like completion of a hero's journey and starting your new chapter of this path. And it's different. It's much different than what you've been through and you've integrated and learned. So I don't know, collective, but this seems like powerful. It feels celebratory, and it feels like a big burden is being lifted up off of you. You can take this 10 wands that have been on your back for so long to the point to where you don't even realize you've been carrying this weight, and you can set it down because you no longer need to carry it. And there's just a breath of fresh air and relief. And you look up and you just got this amazing view in life. You're in this higher place. The air is cleaner. There's stillness. There's quietness. There's peace. There's peace. And this peace is savory. And you look off in the horizons. And if you look behind you, you can see that journey you've overcame. And you look ahead of you and there's nothing to complain about. That's for sure. It's beautiful. And you know that's what's ahead of you. So there's something about your endurance and your strength and it paying off. This is a beautiful moment for you, collective, and I'm really happy for you. What else would you like them to know? Not everyone's going to want to celebrate this. And, that is, one thing that I think you already have the wisdom to know. At this point, you've already learned not everyone is for you. Not everyone cares. Not everyone loves you. Not everyone is genuine and real like you. Not everyone's got the depth, the kindness, the sweetness of you. And not everyone deserves your energy. So, moving forward, just make sure, even though you're in a higher place, even though you're in a better space, that doesn't mean everyone around you is. So have the discernment. Because there are people that aren't going to like seeing you like this. They're not going to like that you've taken this burden off your back. They're not going to like that you've completed some long journey and you've closed a cycle and you're stepping into a better chapter for yourself. They don't want that. But as long as you just keep all this integrated truth and wisdom that you have already learned from all these experiences leading up till now, this big conglomeration of all this past, present, and future of your soul, like, all right, this is it. The eternal now. Embrace it. Surrender to the divine and move forward. However that is. But enjoy the moment. And I think this is where life gets better. That's the energy I'm feeling. It's a clean break and life is getting better. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't people that might be problematic or persecutory. But you're at the top, baby. You at the top. It's a whole lot easier to defend these off when you the king of your mountain. Yeah, step on them fingers and kick them in the forehead. Bye. Whee! Off they go. They got to climb up this uphill battle just to even get to you, just to try to fuck with you. You have the advantage. So it's not really going to take much energy for you to fight these energies off. And that's part of that 10 of wands coming off your back, this weight, this burden, this pressure, this lighter. You're on top. It's different being on the top. It's different being on the top, collective. And you made it. You made it to the top. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. Keep that wisdom you've learned and enjoy every moment from here on out. Because I feel like it's just going to keep getting better for you. And it should. You're going to be seeing people, even if they try to climb up this mountain to come, I don't know, touch a toe on you, you're just going to handle your business like it's light work, because it is now. It really is. You're so above it. You have so much authority and power that's God-given and hard-earned. It's not like you don't know what the struggle is. You've been through it and overcame it, and you're stronger because of it. You're a better person. It's shaped you into what you are now. And you're going to see a lot of people be held in captivity, get locked up, move away. Like, things are just going to fall away. And it's like while you're at the top of the mountain, you're going to see the mountain kind of like petal open. And the people that are trying to climb up the mountain to compete and attack with you, they're going to fall off as this mountain petals open. And your life is going to blossom. And you're just going to rise even higher. Like a lotus. This mountain is now a lotus rising out of the mud. And it's your own. Okay. All right. A waved albatross. A. You've made it pretty far. You've crossed many seas. And you're looking good, too. You don't look like what you've been through. That's going to piss a lot of spirits off. You already know that. But just stay on top. Just stay on top. Wow. All right, collective. I'm going to go ahead and leave this reading here. If you like the way that I read, please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. I'll see you on the next collective message.